This is a very long list. I'm not going to do the Chris Jericho with the armbar, but I'm just going to give, 10 matches I think John Cena should have lost in his career. We're going to start with number 10, Damian Sandow. You remember that guy? I don't know if you heard of him. Damian Sandow was something unique, something fresh on the roster back in 2012. He was the intellectual of the masses. Even when he won the briefcase, he had like this cool briefcase, like made of all leather. Like, it was dope. It was, again, Damian Sandow was something different that we haven't really seen. It's kind of like the scholar, William Regal type character. Now, he wasn't the greatest in the ring, but he was solid. Again, it was about the character work more than anything. And John Cena, who still was playing like he only had one arm, not only had an injured arm, but beat Damian Sandow with one arm. Damian Sandow, who cashed in his Money in the Bank unsuccessfully because John Cena beat him with one arm. And Damian Sandow never recovered. He tried to do the thing with, The Miz and shadowing in The Miz, but Damian Sandow was never the same again. Now, I know there's going to be a pattern here to where it's like, oh, well, John Cena, you can't decide who wins matches or not. Yeah. But you can be like, how about I don't beat this guy with one arm? How about I still make him look strong and then I maybe squeak out a win? But that wasn't really, Cena's MO. So yeah, Damian Sandow buried. Definitely Damian Sandow should have won that match, and we could have had some new, fresh talent in the main event scene on SmackDown for the World Heavyweight Championship. I'm not saying Damian Sandow would have saved the world, but at least it would have been something cool. Number 9, we have WrestleMania 31, Rusev, your United States champion, losing to John Cena at WrestleMania 31. And even though it will lead to a great open challenge by Cena, in my opinion, the best stretch of his entire career, where he was facing mid-carders and having great matches, even though it led to that, a common theme with Cena is he did not need to beat Rusev for the U.S. title. That should have been given to somebody that needed it. You could have capitalized on Dolph Ziggler's momentum after Survivor Series. You could have gave it to Dean Ambrose, who needed a big win. You could have given it to Daniel Bryan. You could have given it to Roman Reigns instead of putting him in the main event, which the people didn't want at the time. Could have given that to Roman Reigns. But the one person you didn't need to give it to was John Cena. Imagine if Rusev would have beaten, or if you're going to do that match, imagine if John Cena would have lost to Rusev that night. How much of a bigger star Rusev would have been. I know he beat him the month prior, but imagine if he would have beat him again. Now Rusev is this monster that who can beat him? And eventually, once he loses the title, he can go to the main event. But again, I know we're not in a company that's trying to make new stars, at least that fans want to see. Number 8, we have, almost in the same vein as Rusev, we have Umaga, Royal Rumble 2007. Or I even give you New Year's resolution 2007, where John Cena retains his WWE Championship versus Umaga. Umaga, who at the time was undefeated until he ran into John Cena, which is also a common theme with undefeated stars. You better not be undefeated when you face John Cena, or you will lose. And so yeah, Umaga, who in my opinion is one of the most wasted, has so much potential, top athletic heels, especially at the time, that it would have been dope to see Umaga defeat John Cena to become the WWE champion and see what he could have done with the world title with Armando Estrada still with him. But of course, we had to get rid of Armando Estrada because Vince anytime something worked, Vince had to get rid of it and break it up way too early. That's just Vince's MO. And so, of course, not only do we beat Umaga after a year, we didn't have him get beat again at Royal Rumble and lose in a great match of John Cena's career. The last man standing match, but yeah, Umaga should have won here. Umaga should have been the one to defeat John Cena and become your new big monster in WWE. Next, we have, still at the Royal Rumble, but the year prior, Royal Rumble 2006, when John Cena defeated Edge to win back his WWE Championship that he just lost 3 weeks prior at New Year's Revolution in Elimination Chamber. John Cena definitely should have lost this match. I don't even think he should have even been facing Edge for the title, in my opinion. But if anybody deserved to win this, it was Edge. You did this whole year of building him up to be the guy, building him up. Even had that crazy Matt Hardy feud, which he dominated, by the way. We did all this. You had all this investment in Edge, only to have him cash in, have that crazy big moment, and then lose it 3 weeks later and make him a transitional champion. For what? To me, this is a time to truly make Edge. Again, I don't think he should have faced Cena at all, not until at least WrestleMania. But if you're going to do this match, have Edge get DQ'd or counted out, something to where Edge keeps the title at least until WrestleMania, so you have a new top heel star. Again, another match Cena didn't need to win. And I think, actually, he should have won the Rumble that year. Doing something that he didn't do the year prior. So then he faces Edge at WrestleMania. That just a thought. Next we have Royal Rumble 2013. John Cena wins his last and second Rumble of his career as he goes on to face, obviously, The Rock at WrestleMania. When he won the Rumble, it was a foregone conclusion. Well, I know The Rock is going to win the title now. Yay! Even though I still was happy that The Rock won because I'm a Rock fan, but still. Just like Cena didn't need to win that Rumble that year. To me, if anybody deserved to win the Rumble that year, it was The Rock. To me, the story of that year was The Rock becoming champion one more time. Did it not make more sense to have Cena either defeat Punk or have it to where it becomes a triple threat with Punk versus Cena versus Rock at WrestleMania, so that way you're not lying to the fans and saying, oh, once in a lifetime, you can still have Rock and Cena in the match at WrestleMania. It's just a triple threat, and Punk deserved that main event. But all in all, I just think Cena winning the Rumble was unnecessary, unneeded, and so anticlimactic when I think you should have given that moment to Rock so that you can build towards Rock, Punk, or Rock, Punk, Cena at WrestleMania, and would have been a way better match than what we got between Rock and Cena at 29. Next, we have Rey Mysterio Raw 2011, which still boggles my mind that they did this to Rey, but also made Cena look the way they did. By having Rey win the title that night, for the first time ever win the WWE Championship, only to lose it within a matter of an hour to Cena, who's supposed to be a babyface, but challenged him right after. Not even giving him a week to prepare, nothing. Just said, oh yeah, we gotta take that title off you, big dog. We gotta set up Punk and us today because we can't have patience and actually tell elongated stories. But I think Rey deserves so much better. I would have had Rey defeat John Cena there and had Triple H be the person to come out and defeat Rey for the title and set up Rey versus Triple H at SummerSlam, first time ever. To have him lose the title to Punk only for him to win it a week later, it's like, what was the point? There's literally no point of doing any of this. So yeah, I think that was just stupid and pointless. And again, Rey deserves so much better. Next, we have Battleground 2015. John Cena is still in his Open U.S. Challenge run with the U.S. Championship, and a breath of fresh air was Kevin Owens making it onto the main event. Well, not main event scene, but making it onto the main roster and challenging John Cena, defeating him. I want to say it was Elimination Chamber. I want to say is the first match together. Yeah, I think Kevin Owens should have lost the NXT Championship to Finn Balor and then wound up beating John Cena at Battleground for the U.S. Championship because, just like they always do, instead of building up John Cena to eventually lose to a mid-carder that needs that U.S. title, what does he do? He loses it to Seth Rollins. Again, Seth Rollins was already the WWE champion at that point. So you did all this to build to nothing. Literally built to nothing. When you could have had Kevin Owens make his way onto the scene, become a new star on Raw, a new fresh face, somebody that is someone to be taken serious by defeating John Cena for the U.S. Championship. I think that would have been a hell of a way to debut a guy after only being on the main roster for like a month. And again, you're help elevate the title because now you're giving it to somebody that can use it. But, I know we're not in the business to do that. Next, we have Brock Lesnar, Extreme Rules 2012. This one is probably the most mind-boggling to me. No matter what you say about Cena, yes, he does not book the matches. But I cannot figure out for the life of me what possessed Vince and management to say Brock Lesnar, who is a former UFC champion, former WWE champion, one of the biggest stars in the history of this business in just a short period of time, a legit badass that is believable more than anybody we've probably ever had in our company, we're going to have him lose in his return to Cena, who just was telling the story of losing to The Rock at WrestleMania in the biggest match of his career, and we're supposed to be telling the story that Cena lost his confidence or no longer can win and is having the worst year of his career, yet he defeated Brock. Then he wins Money in the Bank. It's like, do you not understand how to tell a story, what a story is? Why the hell would Brock lose to Cena in Extreme Rules where anything goes? So you made Brock look like a chump on his return. It's just that, for the life of me, that's one of the weirdest. I still to this day don't understand what was the logic behind that. It's like, well, we got to keep Cena strong. He just lost to The Rock. But do you understand the story that you're telling? Yes, it's all going to build to Cena eventually winning at WrestleMania the next year, probably in a bigger match for the title, however you want to do it. But just have him win here, just like for what? Only to have him lose to John Laurinaitis the very next month. It's like, what was the point? Nothing you could do could make him look weaker than losing to John Laurinaitis. So again, it's like how. Now this next one, you're not going to see coming, and you're probably not going to agree with me at all. WrestleMania 41. Yes, the main event. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. Cody Rhodes should have defeated John Cena. And I'll tell you why. Because think of the story you could have done with John, with him not only joining The Rock, turning heel for the first time in his career, and after all that, telling off the fans, saying how much he doesn't need the fans, he's going to ruin wrestling, he goes against Cody, who would have been booed that night, but still has a good portion of the audience as well. Cena does all that, then loses. Now, how does Cena not only regains the trust of the fans, but gets back to the mountaintop because he just lost in his last ever WrestleMania for the title when he could have made history? What do you do with Cena now? I think that would have been a hell of a story where he goes into Money in the Bank, goes into King of the Ring. He's desperate. He's trying all these things and eventually wins the title. But the money is always in the chase. And I think telling the story of Cena, realizing that him losing his morality and losing his fans wasn't worth going after number 17, going after the record, that he does need his fans and he does have to do things the right way, because if he's not going to do it the right way, he's not going to do it at all. And he realizes that. Like, again, it just so much could have did there. And last but not least, in my opinion, the top match that Cena should have lost is none other than a match he had at WrestleMania in New Orleans, WrestleMania 30, in the Silver Dome. In the Superdome, versus the Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt. To this day, I see clearly how much of a dumbass Vince and management is. You are building up a new character that was unlike anything we've ever seen. He's a mixture of like Undertaker, Jake the Snake Roberts, a spooky guy, but a cerebral guy, all these different things. And if anybody needed that win, it was freaking Bray Wyatt. He would have been made a star that night had he beaten John Cena at WrestleMania. Yes, his potential could have been limitless. And Bray, because he's great, found a way to keep fighting back after bad creative decision after bad creative decision, and have him lose basically all his major feuds. Bray, because he was that good, was able to recover, but just, again, talk about making a guy. And it's not like Cena even had to carry. It's just like, just lose the match. All you had to do was tell the story that Cena refuses to cheat to win. And because of his refusal to cheat to win, Bray took advantage and defeated him, proving Bray to be right. And now again, what do you do with John Cena as his character? But he never wanted to do anything. They decided in his final year where he can never get booed, they want to turn him heel. I'm not even saying you turn John Cena heel after losing to Bray, but at least do some type of interesting character story with him. He just never did that. Outside of that one time when he was supposed to embrace the hate with Kane before the Rock match, was still freaking hilarious to me. But yeah, Bray should have defeated John Cena at WrestleMania 30. He would have been the made guy. And hell, you could have had Taker beat Brock at 30, and then do Bray versus Taker at WrestleMania 31, and maybe have Bray defeat the streak there. Who knows? But yeah, just, man, what a mind-boggling decision. And again, a match John Cena should have lost. But yep, those are my top 10 matches I feel like Cena should have lost. I know there's other matches. I know people might have been looking for the Nexus SummerSlam match, which, yeah, I do feel like Nexus should have won. But at the end of the day, the main focus of Nexus was making a guy by the name of Wade Barrett. And they had plenty of opportunities to do that, and they failed. I think I easily could have put the match between him and John Cena at TLC 2010 here in a chair match where Cena literally buried Wade Barrett. But I don't even want to put that here because I feel like just the whole Nexus story in general was botched, and he had so many times to do something great with it that they just didn't, outside of that 1 month where Cena was part of the Nexus but really wasn't. Which I could do a whole nother video of storylines that Cena could have done that would have been better than what he's done. But anyway, we'll be here forever. But those are my top 10 matches Cena should have lost. Let me know yours. Or even give me matches you feel like he should have won. Or if you completely disagree with me, let me know. But like, comment, subscribe, share the things are the things. Welcome to the high. If you're not down with that, I got 2 words for you. Suck it.